My real name is Francesca Eleonora Saviscus. My mother's name is Magdalena, and my father's name is Peter, and they originated out of Lithuania. They migrated to Scotland before Russia took over.
What was the years?
I couldn't, probably maybe 40s, somewhere in there. And from Scotland, then they migrated into Canada, okay? And when they got together in Canada, they were married. We had umpteen million children, it seems, like 13 kids, you know. A big Catholic family, you know. But other than that, just, and I have several sisters that are deceased, several brothers that are deceased, a couple that are still big, bold, brassy, you know. I have a twin sister who's worse than I am. I mean, she's cute. She's good. She's got a good sense of humor. But I think I got a better one.
So is the Catholic religion important, do you think, to like that part of your family?
Yes it is. Yes it is. This is what we were taught. We all went to parochial school, you know. And it's so very funny because we used to have to walk to Catholic school and then walk home for lunch and then walk back to school again. And as my brothers and sisters would come home for their lunchtime, my mother had my twin sister and myself. And there were two babies on the bed, and there's my mother with all these children, and she still had time in her good, loving heart to make lunch for the kids, you know? One hell of a cook she was. She could make something out of nothing, you know? Maybe that's where I get it from, you know? I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm not one... Right now I'm kind of spoiled because I don't like to eat the same food twice. I don't know why. Maybe I'm spoiled, you know? But if I was way back in those days, I would be eating it, you know? And another thing with my father was a very strict man. There's to be no conversation at the table. That's time to eat. That's it, right there. And if you try to say something, he would take his soup spoon and he'd pop you on the head, which meant back off, you know. So you learn very early in life, you know, you got to respect this, you know. He was good man, good hard-working man, yeah.
And where were their parents from?
Lithuania. So I never knew my grandmother or my grandparents on either side. Never knew them. I just knew a couple of aunts that were in Canada, my mother's two sisters, and that was, you know. But and then,
so what did your father and your mom do? Like besides like Magdalena taking care of the children, what were their other occupations?
Oh, she would work in the brewery once in a while, you know. And she told me on the QT one time, but she never believed in stealing or anything. She was such a Catholic woman, you know. She was quite a hefty woman after having all those kids, that she would turn around and she would hide a bottle of beer, a quart of beer, what they sold them then, and she would hide it under her coat pocket here, and she'd bring it home to my father. And my father, he worked in a steel mill, Canada Steel. He worked in the steel mill. A very intelligent man. He could do almost anything. I think that's where I get a little bit of my smarts from. I'm not too sure, you know.
Street smarts. Yeah,
but he could build anything. He could make anything. He could do anything, you know. A little bit ahead of his time for that period, you know. But other than that, just, you know, I had a good bringing up. I had a good childhood. Good childhood. I'm very, very thankful that, that I'm going to be 79 at the end of the month, and that I could enjoy my family, because when I was 7 years old or 6 years old, I wound up in a hospital with scarlet fever. And then the following year, I wound up in the hospital again with diphtheria, which are almost both fatal diseases. And the doctor had come in and told my mother that I would never live to be 13 years old. And I was on my deathbed, and I got the last rites of the church, and my mother said, at some point, you pulled through. You just pulled through, like I got a second chance in life. And I'm like, I feel very fortunate, you know, that I'm here and here. I got grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and wow. Life has been good to me, regardless whether I had or I didn't have. I had a job. I scratched out a good living, and I worked hard, you know. And my family, I'm proud of all of them, because college-wise, they put themselves through college because I could never afford to do it.
So, you've instilled a lot to your own kids, you feel like, too.
I hope so.
A lot of value.
I hope so. Value is very important to me. If you want something in life, get your butt out and work, you know, because it's not going to come to you on a silver platter. And if it does come on a silver platter, then you're a crook, you know, because that's what happens. Anything that comes too easy is not good. When you work hard for it, it's well worth it, you know.
Was there anything that you would do differently?
What would I do differently?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Like profession-wise, or people that you've met?
You know
or
what, I've
something?
always wanted to be a professional ice skater. And I was ice skating with my brother and I. We used to ice skate on the public ice rink there.
Where was this?
In Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, come, we're going to learn how to dance on ice. And he was very talented. He was an artist, very, very talented. And he picked me up and he flung me, and I went right into the sideboards, and I said, that's it. I ended my career right there. I mean, I would fly my head at the boards, and I don't want no part of that. But then after a while, I regretted it, you know. The man could dance. He could paint. He never heard him sing. I don't think he could sing. But skate, yeah, he was very, and even in school, he was with the boys' athletic team there. He was like a broad jumper, you know. It was very good at that. And I have other brothers that were hockey fiends and hockey coaches, and hockey is my game. New York Rangers, go, go, go. And but other than that, just you know, just I've had a pretty full life, you know. I've had a pretty full life.
What about with your siblings? Do you wish that you've seen them more, or that there was?
I think I see them enough.
Yeah.
You know, seeing them too much is not good, you know? Seeing them here, like now, like on holidays and in between summers and whatever, you know, it's great. I love it. I do love it. You know, it just, like next weekend's my great-granddaughter's birthday, and I'll be there cooking as usual. I love to do it, though, because if I didn't love to do it, I wouldn't do it, you know? It just pleases me to please them, you know? And with a few bucks on the side.
So if there's one thing you could say to the current generation who are growing up in a lot of like technology and all that stuff, what's something that you would remind them to be like conscious of, or anything of the sorts?
Get outside and do a little bit more activities. Do a little bit more sports. In my town of Brunswick, excuse me, where I live, last year I've been talking to the oh, I don't know, just superintendent or whoever you want to call them there, about putting an ice skating rink in for the children in the winter time. I said, because in the summertime, I said, they have softball, they have baseball, they have soccer. Did I say soccer? Oh, soccer. And everything else. I said, in the winter, what do? They come home and they sit in front of the television, or they're in front of a computer. I'm not saying they shouldn't be computer savvy or smart, because they're smarter than I am, that's for sure. But get out and do something. And I've been trying very hard to get an open rink and have a little Brunswick brat team there, a little hockey team or something going, you know. Get out and get some exercise, get some air in your lungs, you know. I mean, I come from a very, very strong family. I was out every day in the winter in Montreal, and it was cold, I'll tell you. But I just kept trucking right along there. That was the best thing I could have ever done, you know. And I went out skating every day. I was on the ice rink, playing with the boys, playing hockey, playing everything.
It's to be more connected.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we would go to the public park, and my mother could never afford skis. I'd go down on a piece of cardboard down the hill, you know. And then in the summertime, back then, we used to have these little ice wagons that came along that sold big 50 pounds of ice. My sister and I'd be hanging on the back of it, eating the little pieces of ice. We loved it. We couldn't afford popsicles, you know, but that was cool for us. That was good, you know. And of course, we were near the St. Lawrence River. My mother said, "Don't go near the river. You should never have said that. Should never have said that. That's the first place I went. If she'd have known that, she'd be turning over in her grave. But yeah, we had a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Okay, last thing.
Okay.
If you knew you were going to leave this planet tomorrow, what are some lasting words to your family you would say?
Take care of each other. Because each other is all you have. You can't depend on Joe Blow next door, or the guy up the street, or the woman down below you. It's each other. You got to take care. You got to tie in those family ties. You know. I'm not saying to ignore your neighbor. No way. But take care of each other. I don't like to see animosity, or this one's got that and you're not giving me that. I don't like that. That's not right. You know. But that's my very last wishes.
Take care of each other.
Yes.